Hey, you guys, it's Joe here in the booth. I got a pretty interesting opportunity over the last couple of, months actually. I got a chance to record some voices for a Lord of the Rings card game. You may have heard of it. It's been featured in a lot of different places. It was one of, I think, Polygon's top 50 games to look out for in 2019. It is Fantasy Flight Interactive's Lord of the Rings, the living card game. Now, originally, in the original set, I got to play Faramir, which was pretty cool. But now they've kind of come back to me, as many of these mobile games do. They ask you for a ton of voices, like different voices, because each card has its own little, coming onto the field voice and then getting attacked voice or dying voice. So in this case, they've done something fairly unique for me. I don't typically play these big, rough characters, but in this case, they have asked for a bunch of trolls and orcs and goblins. So I thought I'd take some time and film it. And hopefully, when this is done, I can show them this film. They'll give me the go ahead to release this to you. So you'll be here with me in the booth as part of this sort of creative process, which is a view that most people don't get because a lot of the heavy NDAs in the industry. But let's bear with me as we go through, and we'll kind of try to invent these characters together. And I'll go ahead and I'll start talking through some things. I normally don't have like an out loud monologue with myself while I'm in the booth, but I will do so today for your sake, so you can hear what's going on. Now, they've asked me to do a group of 17 characters, or is it 15 characters? We did a couple last week, and then they asked me to do some more, which is when I got the idea to go ahead and film this. So let's take a look at what they have. Oh, they even titled it. The whole spreadsheet's called Zieja Character Voices. I feel so good about it all. Well, it seems my camera is falling. It's okay. We're still good. So in this list, we've got looks like we've got some trolls. We've got a Dale. We've got a bunch of orcs, trolls, hobbits, orc, dwarf. Okay. One thing they asked me, they told me not to worry about too much, is the idea that all these voices need to be completely and totally unique. Now, for one person, I know there are lots of very talented actors out there that can do, lots of different voices, but when you constrain any of us to something like, we want you to do a bunch of different voices, but they all need to sound like orcs, or they all need to sound like your natural voice, that could be very difficult. So they've sort of bracketed that by saying that they don't really need to sound that difficult. They're going to apply some post-processing. So if I sound like I'm repeating voices, that's just something I have to do because of the limitations to my pipes. So the first one, each of these just has a couple of lines. It's basically like a coming on the field line, maybe a second coming on the field line, an attack grunt, and a death grunt. So here's Brim. Brim, now I've been going with like a Cockney thing for trolls, because that's just the way that the trolls seem to kind of go in Lord of the Rings. They said I didn't have to stick to any particular accent, so we'll kind of see how this goes. Last time I've been using Cockney accents for these guys.
So Cockney accent's down here like this, right? And trolls have these big teeth, so simulating that sort of like they are right there, yeah? You got something sticking out of your mouth, like probably a bit of a goat or something like that, right? And you just go from there. So Brim sounds like this. Hold their toes to the fire. There's more to come yet. Hurrah! Ah! Ah!
So there was the coming on the field lines, and then there was a couple of attack roars, and then a death line. And that's it. That's all I need to provide for this character. Now we've got 15 more to go. So we'll go through another troll. Now Bert, right after that, another troll named Bert, another troll voice. So I'm going to stick with the Cockney, but I may make him less growly. I may bring him up.
So, right here, we've got something like this, right? Something over here. The last guy was all the way down here. Let's bring him up a little bit for Bert, the enemy troll.
Right?
Shut your mouth! That'll teach him!
Holy sh**. Okay, little technical difficulty with the gimbal there, holding my cell phone camera in place. Now, we were going with Bert, which is a higher pitched troll, I've decided, since the last troll was way down there. His lines are pretty similar. So instead of being down here,
we're gonna put him up here. Maybe put him out the right side of her mouth like that. Shut your mouth! That'll teach him. Hurrah!
That's it for Bert. The next thing we got on here is a chained prisoner who is just a regular old humanoid Dale with a scared voice, and he's just going to beg for his life. So that's not that hard. No, please, help me! Yeah. Ah! That's it for the chained prisoner. Next thing I got here is a Dol Guldur patrol, who is an orc. I see the camera's moving on me again. I'm just going to sort of drift this way. You could see me, right? This is fine. Orcs have just this like visceral rah kind of thing, which again is not my usual forte. It tends to rip up my cords. But these are so short that I don't mind doing it so much. So here we've got Dol Guldur patrol,
Who I'm gonna put all the way down here, all the way in the chest and drawer of
and the first word is AI with an exclamation point. So I'm like, all right, okay, here we go.
Hi, steady now. Maggots, you're cooked. Ugh.
Next, we got a Dol Guldur scout. I figure scouts are a little bit more on the spry side, right? So not so much grumbly fighter dude. Let's go ahead and adjust this one more time. That's better. I think that's better. So for the Dol Guldur scout,
We'll make him a little up here, right? Yeah. Kill him quick. Kill him now. We'll feast on horse flesh yet, or something better. Ah! Arf!
2 more orcs coming up. We've got Dol Guldur watcher, who I guess is just like a guy like, yeah, I see it. I'm watching. That's the job description. He's another orc. Maybe he'll be like,
I don't know, a little on the old side with some floppy cheeks and just not very excited about his job. Don't play any tricks. You'll wish you're dead already. Ugh. Oh.
that's it. Another orc. Now we get a dungeon keeper. Who's a dungeon keeper orc? We're going to make him, the last guy was kind of old. This is, dungeon keeping for an orc. He's got maybe a sadistic streak, right? So he just wants to get in there and get him done. So we'll put something down here for this guy. Orcs are big, right?
Let's have some fun. Filthy little vermin. Ugh. Ah.
Right? Okay. So that's the one way you can kind of take different things, different characters who are all the same race or style, and try to add them a little bit of personality, right? We differentiated those characters. Even though they were all orcs, and my orc range is relatively limited, I still made them into distinct characters. I think we'll stop there for the day. I'm going to go through the rest of these characters. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully the guys at Fantasy Flight Interactive will let me show this video. Check out my social medias at Zieja, pretty much everywhere. Same thing on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and check me out for some more behind-the-scenes tips and hints on what it's like being a voice actor in Los Angeles. Later.